outside the scope of this book. The descent into domestic violence was never preordained, as some have argued, and need not have happened. Technically, this is the story of Operation Telic I, the invasion of Iraq, conducted during a few weeks of March to April 2003. Unlike the Pentagon outside Washington, D.C., which labels military deployments to reflect their strategic purposes, the Ministry of Defense in London uses a computer to generate random names which betray no obvious objectives. Thus, the US-named Operation Iraqi Freedom was codenamed Telic to the British and Falconer to the Australians. In jest, the meaningless Telic was soon understood as an acronym for Tell Everyone Leave is Cancelled. As invasion morphed into operation, the unexpected counterinsurgency that fell on the coalition ensured there would be 13 Telics in all, lasting from January 2003 until the 30th of April 2009, with a protracted presence of training missions for 2 years after that. With 46,000 personnel deployed in early 2003, the UK-Australian force matched that assembled for Suez in 1956 and neared the 53,000 present in the First Gulf War of 1991. It dwarfed the British contribution in Korea, 1950–53, and the Falklands, 1982. What we have here, therefore, is an important record of one of the largest military undertakings since the Second World War. Due to its size and influence, it is vital that we have both official and unofficial records of the hopes, fears, and achievements of those who were there. It was a major feat to position the huge force with their 15,000 vehicles and 9,100 shipping containers in the Gulf within 10 weeks. They were commanded by a 3-star UK National Contingent headquarters led by Air Marshal Brian Burridge, with Peter Wall, a future CGS, as his Chief of Staff. This independent organisation was blistered onto the American Central Command, CENTCOM base, outside Doha in Qatar. With a light hand on the tiller explaining the historical context, Julian Whippy wisely lets the service personnel speak for themselves. By interweaving their recollections, he provides us with a continuous narrative thread of what life was like across all the services in those surreal days of March and April 2003. Due to the controversial nature of the process of deciding to go to war and the frustrations felt, some voiced here, by those serving during their deployments, the official UK record of the events of 2003 includes the results of 2 government investigations: the National Audit Office report of December the same year, and the lengthy Chilcot inquiry, announced in 2009 and published in 2016, as well as several unit-level lessons learned pamphlets, essays, and articles. Much is available online, but the official narrative is remarkably sparse. At the 20-year mark, there is no official account of the invasion or occupation. As the UK generally discourages its military and civil servants from writing memoirs and profiting from them whilst in receipt of government pay, there are lamentably few British personal accounts in circulation. The Ministry of Defence has retreated into itself to become book-shy. Most of what is available is penned from an American point of view. Burning Horizon goes a long way to redress this balance, for here we have a spread of voices, spread between the Navy, Marines, Army and Air Force. Among them are also some of the 9,500 reservists who deployed on Telic I and in its aftermath. Here I must declare an interest, for I was amongst those mobilised at the beginning of 2003. Within days I found myself in Qatar, in the Air Marshal's lair, acting as his historian and later moving into the UK Divisional Operations Room at Basra Airport. Julian Whippy's assemblage of recollections instantly brought back to me the Ian Fleming-like atmosphere of a headquarters at war. The bird table maps with their unit symbols depicting life and death encounters, no longer a war game, the Star Wars Blue Force Tracker electronic screens showing the real-time positions of coalition assets, Hollywood-like drone footage of dramatic